Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Behind me are my sleds. Sleds are a bit of a force multiplier when it comes to work, and whether most people know this or not, those black tub sleds right there, they can be used in the wintertime. They can also be used in the summertime to haul gear or haul out firewood. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here. I'm going to show you guys each one of those sleds and talk about them and show you guys how to rig them up. All right, guys, kind of moved inside here now, and I'm going to show you my sleds as best I can, talk about them a little bit, talk about some of the kind of unique things on a couple of these sleds and some different ways to modify these guys. The first one I'm going to start with here is my old-time sled. Now, I don't have any idea how old this guy is, but this particular sled has been ingeniously modified with a couple of pieces of lumber. You can see there's a slant cut on the bottom of that to angle that piece of wood out. And whoever modified this, they used a couple of nails on the bottom of this, and they used this lumber and those made those slant cuts, and they modified this old-time kid sled to haul sections of wood. And this is a perfect example of modifying your gear to suit your needs, and that's something that we can all take a cue from. If there's a piece of gear that we're using and we can see a better way to utilize it for ourselves, go ahead. Don't be afraid to not mess that gear up. Go ahead and modify that gear the way you see fit to make it work. Don't get squeamish if you don't think it looks good, because you know what? It's better to have a piece of gear that works for you than it is for have a piece of gear that looks good. I just put some heavy paracord on this particular sled because the cordage that was on this was actually, it looked to me like a piece of cotton clothesline rope that they had tied on there, and that had started to rot away. So I took that off and replaced it with some paracord. So this guy right here is still perfectly functional. I'm going to get into some of my bigger sleds here. And this is my big Viking. Set it over here. You can see about how tall it sits standing next to me. This is a wider sled than the other one that I got. And this sled is about 15 years old. You can see this guy's hauled a lot of wood. And this guy right here, step back here a little bit, give you an idea. It's just starting to get a couple of holes in the bottom of it. Not very big, sort of like pinholes. I'm actually going to patch those holes with some epoxy when I'm done using it this winter. And I'm going to clean this guy up. So these plastic sleds last a long time. They're really, really tough. This guy's kind of heavier than the one that I just got here recently to sort of replace this guy. But I got nothing but praise for these things. And when I said earlier that these sleds are a force multiplier when it comes to work, I really meant that, because two guys with a couple of these sleds, and even with hand saws, you can cut a fair amount of wood, and you could put a deer in this to haul out. There's just a lot of gear that can be hauled with these sleds fairly efficiently. Another thing that I like doing with these strings that come on these sleds, I like tying a knot in them so you can adjust the length of this when you're using it. So if I need a longer rope, I can grab it up here, but if I don't want that much slack in it, I can grab it at the knot. So it's just a real simple way to adjust the length of that rope. And this is a Pelican. You can see it's a little bit taller. This is a newer sled. I haven't used this as much. It's not quite as heavy as that Viking, but it's still pretty heavy. And you can see that it's a little bit narrower and a little bit longer. So this guy right here is going to start taking the brunt of the work off of the Viking that's a little bit older. This one I left the cord on yet. I haven't decided exactly how long to make this cord yet, but I'm going to probably put a knot in this guy too, just like the old one. And now we're going to talk about my personal sled. And this is a little sled, also a Pelican, little kid's sled. And I've seen different people take little kids' sleds and modify them to go work with their gear, and that's where I got the idea to use this guy here. And when I rigged this with the cord, I tied knots in it at different locations while I was rigging it. And you can see I got these knot loops all the way around the edge of this sled. So that way I can rig this with either bungees or paracord, whatever I need it to be, to go with my gear. And I'm going to show you one of the ways that I can use this sled, but I got to take the phone down off the bench here, and I'm going to show you what that is. And here is one of the ways you can utilize one of these small sleds. I took one of my get home bags here and tossed it upside down so the straps are facing up into the sled, and then use those loops that I got tied in to the cordage on this sled, and I flat bungeed my get home bag right to this sled, so it's like a little turtle shell that goes over top of my pack. And that way, if I want to carry this sled over top of the pack, I can. Even though it hangs down a little bit low, you can still utilize the straps on the pack to carry this. Or if I just want to pull this guy and not have that pack on my back, then I can just pull it like a little sled. It works both ways. Show you here. Kind of pick this guy up. Holds on rather nicely. Just wanted to show you guys this little way here to utilize one of those sleds along with your get home bag. And here is what the sled looks like when it's on my back. You can kind of see my pack back there tucked into the sled like a little turtle shell, like I told you earlier, and just walking around. Holds quite nicely. Just another way to utilize these small sleds here, to have them on your pack. Just another force multiplier, making your gear more effective. You can have one of these small sleds on your pack, and that way you can, if you decide you don't want to be carrying this weight, you can actually slide it in the snow or the mud or whatever it happens to be. But I just thought I'd show this to you guys, just give you another idea to use with your own gear, and show you some of my old-time sleds that I have here, and some of the modern sleds that I'm using almost every day this time of year. So anyway, this is Modern Refugee. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment out of this video. You guys have a great day.